себя в порядок сейчас хоть приводи. Хватит этим лысым ходить, да без бровей.
Потому что ваш вид, явно вызывающий и деструктивный, он может вызвать ЧП.
А что с Шейном? Что у него было переломано?
Все, половина ебала левая.
Трак сам изначально это тема политическая.
Кир, тебя даже сантехником не возьму.
Разберусь.
Я знаю, что ты ничего не добьешься. Ничего не добьешься.
Каждый день выхожу в Москве, иду в эту мастерскую, что-то там делаю, но когда я из нее выхожу, я все равно понимаю, что я там никто.
Jenna, тебе судебная повестка пришла. Что ты там натворил?
Нет войны! Нет войны!
У них сидеть что-то, наверное.
Заводи.
Так.
Теперь стреляю.
Колет.
Закрепи.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Queendom, arriving from Greenwich Entertainment in theaters as well as nationally on demand on June 14th. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World, and joining me to talk all things Queendom, I have the director, Agniia Galdanova, and producer, Igor Myakotin. Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And hello, everyone.
Yes, definitely. So, as I was saying earlier before we got started, I had the honor and pleasure of screening this at home. And man, so inspiring, so good, shot so well. You guys are bringing the art to documentaries, much like Jenna is bringing the art to the scene. Kudos. And I can't wait for everybody else to check this out when it arrives on June 14th. So I have to ask you guys, I got all the questions. I live here in the Washington, D.C. area, so I'm very familiar with documentaries and working on teams that, do this work. But I can only imagine, because of, the worldview and everything, to do this in Russia and now where it is, precluding this documentary, just how it was to just make this whole thing happen. And I thank you both for bringing this to us so we can see how important it is and how we should all be inspired to create change. And I hope that this creates change. So can I go back to the roots? Agniia, I know you were already, from reading the notes, in the scene, kind of putting this idea together. It didn't kind of center on Jenna yet. Can you just tell me how these opening seeds sparked to create this amazing film?
I don't know. It was just my feeling that I have to follow Jenna, and because in the beginning it's supposed to be a docuseries, and there were several protagonists, and all of them were amazing. And Jenna was the last one that I had to meet in order to start the process of filming the docuseries. And when we met, I quite fast realized that she can handle the whole story by herself, and it took some time, but I changed it from the docuseries to feature about Jenna, and I never regretted about it because I don't know, even without knowing what's waiting for us up there, I felt that there are so many layers to unfold on the way.
Definitely. Igor, can you tell me how you collaborated with Agniia in getting involved in the project and bringing the focus along with this?
Yes, definitely. Agniia had already shot a few scenes of Queendom with Jenna, and she had a work sample, and she was looking for a producer at the moment. And then a mutual friend of ours connected us, and he sent me that sample, and I watched it, and I was just mesmerized by the cinematography, by Jenna's character and courage, but also I saw my hometown in the footage. So the town where Jenna comes from, this faraway, frigid outpost on the Pacific Ocean in the Russian Far East, place where gulag camps, labor camps used to be. This is, we share this hometown. So I was just shocked to see it in this cinematic treatment. And when I told Agniia, she was also shocked. So we were both shocked. And then we thought, well, we have to do something about it and we have to make a film. And we got together and started working and collaborating. I'm based in the US, so I was working from the US, and Agniia and Jenna were filming in Russia at the moment.
Awesome, awesome. Wow, that's so kismet and so perfect in a way. It's wild. So Agniia, was it again, you were already making this docu-series, right? And then you're meeting all these performers and artists. Can you tell me, was it the IG stuff or was it like through other mutual people? Because I love how you portrayed through in the documentary how we saw some clips of Jenna right before we started really going with the movement of the story. So was that like your introduction? Did you meet her through IG or was it already in person introductions through the other performers?
No, it was through the other performers because at that moment, Jenna didn't have such a big following on Instagram. So when we met, she was like really in the beginning of her way to change from like conventional drag to this kind of weird, absolutely unique style. And I had a chance to witness this growth, because at some point we were hanging out a lot in her flat, and she would just collect before that on the street some garbage. And then we were just sitting talking, and somehow in like 2-3 hours, there was a beautiful headpiece made of all this shit that she's picked up on the street.
I love it.
After, spending time with her and seeing this, I was like, wow, that's definitely something that I would like to follow more. And then in front of our eyes, it was really unfolding because she started to get a lot of attention on Instagram. And then she started to get an interest in the political situation. Then, she told me that finally she understands the real purpose of Instagram, that it's not only about posting like beautiful, funny stuff. It's like a platform to spread the message. And every time, I was so amazed by her, by her development as a human being, as an artist, as an activist. So it never was boring, it always was exciting to be around her.
Wow, that's beautiful. And that reads in this documentary. That's why I think it's so wonderful, because you're like right there on the ground floor. We as the viewer are going on this journey, and it's just so amazing and so well done. And again, kudos to you both. So with that being said, I was curious, one of my questions was, how long did it take? And I read in the notes that, it started in 2019 all the way up until February 23, the development of this. So can you tell me like any notes along that way of, making this, and just from you, Igor, being on the production side as a producer, just the fear, these people are in some kind of dangerous situations, and actually not dangerous situations. What was that like for you to hear from Agniia, like, oh my gosh, don't do that, Agniia, I want you to be safe, or just all the way around? Can you just tell me, the actual production of the documentary and what that vibe and feeling was like?
Well, with Jenna, the thing is, if she was gonna go outside in the public in this incredible dress that she just made, she would go no matter what. Like, we couldn't stop her. We couldn't, all we could do is just to follow her and to be with her. And I think there was something about her being such a spectacle and attracting so much attention that people wouldn't even notice that we were also filming, but also us being there provided some sort of a safety net for Jenna and for the crew. So we obviously had to think through certain things, think ahead, have a plan B in case, the shit hits the fan. That's the expression, right? Yeah, in case like things go wrong way. And then it would sort of depend on the situation. If it's a protest scene, let's say, then definitely there's more planning involved, more meticulous planning. And up to the point when Jenna was protesting the war in Ukraine, when she was wearing barbed wire and freezing cold, she had barely any clothes. So there had to be, Agniia was there. She had a backpack with a full, clothes, pants and stuff, and a sweatshirt. But also we had to think about things like, where would the cinematographer go? So the cinematographer in that scene was on roller skates. So when Agniia and Jenna got arrested, he actually could run away pretty quickly and save the footage. Otherwise,
Oh wow,
we have the
yeah.
footage as well. So we had to think about, things like that. Obviously, there was a lawyer on standby, but in certain situations, there's so much that lawyer can do. The most important thing, I think, for us was the safety of Jenna and the crew. But sometimes it would mean that, if Jenna is arrested, Agniia had to be there as well. She was arrested as well. And them being together, that made me feel better. Yes, they're arrested. Yes, situation is bad, but at least they're together. And that's like, the most important thing that you can expect from the crew, from the director, is the care toward the protagonist. And I think you can really feel that in the film, that trust between between Agniia and Jenna.
Yes, Jenna is so fearless. As are you, Agniia. Just to hear that too from Igor, just wow. So like how many people were like on set at one time, maybe? Like how, like I'm assuming, camera, you said cinematographer, like so how many people maybe, were there in total? I'm sure sometimes maybe just the two of y'all in different respects,
So
right?
always been only two-person. Me, I was
Wow.
doing the sound and the cinematographer. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. Was there anything specific of note for you, Agniia, that maybe was in there, or you had a cut or anything through the production as well?
Sorry.
Was there anything that you remember or anything that didn't make the final cut that you experienced that
Oh.
was part of the documentary?
Well, there's a lot of things that didn't end up in the final cut because we've been editing for a year and it was pretty intense, like let's say 11 months. We were working like 16 hours a day because we had like a very precise deadline. We wanted to be ready for one festival. And when we got 5 hours cut, because we had like 350 hours of, footage. When we had 5 hours, I was like, the film is done, like, all good. And then another month is like, we were, cutting out like already very, very precious scenes for me. So it was very painful.
It's like our baby, right? As I'm a fellow filmmaker as well. It's like when your baby, you have to like, yeah, but you want it there. Was there something that didn't make the cut that, you would have liked to have been there, but because of time and telling the story and progressing the story along that, that you can share maybe?
I mean, one of the most favorite scenes that I didn't want to lose was it's not giving anything like specific to the story. It was just a great mood, a great moment, very beautifully shot. When Jenna just having like a peaceful day on the lake with her friends, and her friend is teaching her how to swim, and there is like some kind of this summer mood in the air, kind of lightness, and there's no problem. There's no yet all these horrible things are happening. There's no yet Russia, invaded Ukraine. And it feels so, I don't know, light. So I really wanted that this scene would stay. But in the end, we have a very tight edit.
Yeah.
So there was no space for this, but they're always here.
I love that. Hopefully, maybe we can extend it out into a series, Netflix or something. I don't know. I would love to see more. Igor, what was it like for you when you finally saw some of the cuts and working with Agniia, reviewing this and seeing the story kind of unfold? How powerful was it for you and just this whole amazing story about Jenna?
So powerful. I mean, it's 5 hours that I watched and I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
You're just so glued to the screen because Jenna is such a spectacle, but it also was just shot so well. And some of the scenes that Agniia was just talking about, very intimate, very cinematic, very poetic scenes were just so moving too. But I also was not on the ground filming, so I think it also gave me some sort of a fresh perspective, so to speak, because I was seeing it really for the first time, and I was not really attached emotionally to any of the moments when they were filming there. So I think that was also important to keep that in mind, for me at least. But we worked with about 5 consulting editors after we had the assembly ready, and they also helped us guide us through this process of figuring out what's actually important in the film, what's gonna stay, what serves the story and what doesn't. but it's a real gem to be able to see something that, you know, you've been working on, and then it's always a pleasure, and it's very easy to work with someone who has a very clear cinematic and creative vision like Agniia. So it was full trust. I totally knew that whatever she was gonna do, it's gonna be incredible. So that makes it very easy to collaborate.
I love it. And yes, Agniia, you deserve all those flowers, girl. Deserve it all. So beautiful, so amazing. One of the scenes that really got me, and I'm an empath, so I feel all the emotions, right? Towards the end, and I'm not going to spoil, but we get a lot of personal phone calls that you're actually able to capture. And then, you know, we get kind of like in the scrolling end credits, you know, where we are after in a way. It broke my heart in a lot of ways. Can you talk about where Jenna is now and how she's feeling, and seeing the film, and now you guys are talking and spreading the beautiful word and traveling the festival circuit, and people are learning her story. What just has that been like?
Well, we moved together with Jenna to Paris, which was not easy. And the last things that you see in the film, it's exactly what was going on. And now she's in Paris and she's very good. She's learning the language and she started to have paid gigs, as grandfather was always demanding. And she's participating in the fashion shows for Paris Fashion Week. She is doing new performances. She's discovering new mediums for her. Like, I don't know, she started to paint. She started to film herself. She bought a camera for herself. So she's, you know, trying out new things. And I think that's her first maybe moment in life when she has time to reflect on what happened to her in the past years, and to kind of just breathe and to take time to decide what she wants to do next in her life. I'm sure it's going to be even more striking, but it's always good, you know, to have a little pause and to understand where you are. And on top of it, the most important thing is that she got finally all her papers of her asylum. So she is, you know, absolutely legally in France. She can work there, she can be there, but also she can travel everywhere. She can go to US now, she can go to England. So she has all her life in front of her.
That's amazing. And for you as well. Again, you devoted so much of your time. And I know, again, from reading the notes, how personal this story was for you as well, because of how you grew up. What is it like for you both, Igor and Agniia? Just, you know, you put so much of your life and your soul in as creatives and filmmakers and making the story happen. It's now there. We're loving it. We're enjoying it. What is that like for you now? And what is ahead for you both? If I could go back to you, Agniia.
Well, I have to say that this film brought a lot of stress, but it also brought a lot of beautiful people in my life. Besides Jenna, I met Igor, and I think now we're forever together, and we're already working on a couple of new projects, but also my cinematographer, the editor, all of them, we always going to work together now because there, I don't know, it was such a connection and such a tight feelings that we got through the process of making Queendom. So now I'm very, very lucky to meet all of these people. And I'm sure we're going to create something beautiful soon again.
Oh, I can't wait. Please come back and talk to me about it. How about for you, Igor, as well?
Yeah, well, I think we were all driven by this like larger purpose that this film can serve and possibly, you know, change someone's not life, but maybe perception. Maybe that someone can rethink their relationship with their close people. Maybe people won't take certain things for granted in their lives, and maybe will allow them to look at certain things differently. So I think we were just all driven by this purpose, higher purpose for the film, and hoping that as many people, especially queer people who feel insecure, who don't really sometimes have someone to look up to, don't really have hope, we hope that this film will bring them that joy and that confidence to be themselves, and to be you know, to be the superstars that they were all really born to be. So, and I'm really looking forward to next projects that we're working on.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do next. This was so amazing. Your eye is amazing, Agniia. Just all the shots. I was amazed as a filmmaker. Just this was a documentary that I'm watching. It was that good. I'm like, wow. So beautiful. You both are so amazing. So beautiful yourselves. Jenna, if you're watching this, you're amazing. I can't wait for the rest of the world to see this. Everybody, it arrives in theaters as well as on demand on June 14th from Greenwich Entertainment. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye. There we go.
Bye.